All right, apologies for the delays. Had some issues to take care of in the background. Thank you so much, parliamentarians, for joining us this morning, Wednesday, a rainy morning in the coal city. We must discuss these very important issues this morning and, see to it that we continue to cross-pollinate our divergent views on a program like this. Thank you so much. It's the midweek session of the Urban Parliament. Today, again, like we did on Monday, we'll be revisiting the whole talk about constitution review. There was a public hearing that happened on Friday and Saturday of last week, and we had regional, public hearings across the 6 geopolitical zones. In Enugu, it happened at the International Conference Center. We've been taking a lot of reviews with regards to what's going on with the constitution review. Recall that we reported the number of things that were up for debates in terms of the items that a lot of people want to be tweaked in the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended. The Southeast Zone public hearing happened, and issues bordering on creation of new states, state police, seats for women in the National Assembly, rotational presidency, support for independent candidacy, and a lot more were discussed. The process of constitution review, is something that is still up for debate. Some people did not see the public hearing that happened as engaging enough and having enough content to really guarantee that the process brought in the thoughts of the stakeholders. The National Assembly says it will transmit the report of the ongoing constitution review to the 36 state assemblies before December of 2025, and all amendments to be approved by at least 2/3 of the state assemblies before ratification. So the process is still an ongoing one. We will today have a guest join us to look at what has happened and his thoughts. And he was also there at the public hearing in Enugu, and they as a group did make some contributions to what was said at that gathering. So join us. Promises to be an interesting conversation.
We're being joined this morning by Barrister Emeka Siri. He is the chairman of Mobin, Nzobi second of Okwara Unebu Amuchu, Imo State. I hope I'm correct. I got that correct?
All right. Barrister, you would help us. It's Nzobi the second. Nzobi the second of Okwara Unebu Amucha in Imo State. All right. Thank you. Sorry for all the
conjectures. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming around, sir. You somebody that would be conversant with issues around constitution review and trying to tweak the constitution. You were there. Were you there as a group, as the Mobbing group?
Yes, please. Yes, I was there. We came together as a group, a mobbing group.
Okay. Mobbing. What does mobbing mean?
Managing opportunities by intelligent networking.
Managing opportunities by
intelligent networking. Okay. That is the ontological meaning. Okay. That is like philosophers will say the ontology, the reason for its existence. Managing opportunities by intelligent networking. Okay. That is mobbing. But the operational name is Movement of Biafrans in Nigeria.
Movement of Biafrans
in Nigeria.
Okay.
Good. So we're there to contribute to the amendment of the Constitution because we believe that Nigeria can be salvaged. Yes, I know that some people are saying that the Constitution is not possible to amend it. It should be better is to pull it down, destroy everything, and start afresh. Yeah. But that is not our stand. Okay. Our stand is that Nigeria is like a building that has now 36 stories plus FCT. That's 37 floors built on a foundation. If we say that the foundation is faulty, that's the Constitution, which is the foundation, we say it is faulty. Fine. How do we correct the faulty foundation? That's all we are saying.
Okay.
How do we correct it? Good. And that's where we proffered our solution. We proffered the best solution to it.
Okay, so you say that you stand with the people or the school of thoughts that believes that the Constitution does not have to be discarded entirely.
No.
That there are things that could be put into the Constitution to remedy what we have, the 1999 Constitution.
That is correct.
So you believe in this process now, the Constitution review process, because when we raised this conversation on Monday, some people called in and said, nah, they're not even discussing the root cause of the problems. They are discussing the same terms. We should have a people's constitution. We should have a confab, bring all the parts of Nigeria and bring the people together to at least form a people's constitution. What part of this constitution still makes sense to you? Because some people say it's the military that put it together, so it's so much builds a unitary system of governance.
That's exactly what I'm saying about. We're talking about structure. Nigeria is built. It's just like a house built on a foundation.
Okay.
Good. And we're saying that the foundation is faulty. The constitution is faulty. That's what we're talking about amendment. If it's not faulty, we'll not talk about amendment. But for us to say we want to amend it means that we have agreed that the constitution is not working. So something has to be done. And that is where we provide the best solution to solve that problem, and it becomes a people's constitution. We don't have to pull down. Now, see, I'm a lawyer, and the law says every law remains valid until set aside. Now, as you imagine, we are a judge who will now stand and declare Nigerian constitution invalid, null and void, ab initio. Do you know what that means? It means that everything that is built on that constitution crumbles immediately. Your university degree certificates will crumble because it is the constitution that established the universities, the states, the local government. Everything, the army will collapse, everything will collapse. Immediately, constitution is pronounced invalid. So we don't want anarchy. We don't want anarchy. The rule of law says, salus populi est suprema lex. That is the safety of the public is the supreme law. So anything you do to protect the safety of the people, that is the supreme law.
Okay. Anything you do to
protect the public, the safety of that is the supreme law.
Okay, so a number of things are being talked about with regard to this constitution review. Like I mentioned, there are talks about state police, which borders on securing the people, like you've insinuated. There are talks about creation of new states, which we talked about on Monday. There are 5 states that people are proposing to be created in the southeast. A number of them were there, those who are proposing those states. We had a debate on which of them is the most viable and would make the most sense to add to the southeast, that's on the side. But let's from the items that were up for stakeholders to talk about during that public hearing, which of them were you particularly interested in as something that would begin to set the constitution aright?
It was on regional autonomy, the evolution of power to the regions.
Okay,
that's why I was talking about structure. Nigeria is built on section 2 and 3. What we're talking about structure, the amendment list the Senate published had section 2, number 2, number 1 is talked about federal structure, re-engineering the federal structure, and that structure is on section 2 and 3 of the Nigerian Constitution, which says, section 2 says Nigeria shall be a federation, an indivisible and indissoluble entity called Federal Republic of Nigeria. Then section 2.1.2.2 says that Nigeria shall consist of 36 states. That's section 3. I'm talking about 2 and 3. Okay. These are the structures, the sections that build the structure. Sections 2 and 3. Section 3 says that Nigeria shall consist of states. I mentioned the 36 states with the FCT. Now we are saying that that one, the 2 sections should be amended. We now say Nigeria shall be a federation consisting of regions, no longer as states, consisting of regions, so that the 6 geopolitical regions now, each one becomes an autonomous region within Nigeria. This is what we practice in the United Kingdom, when we have Scotland, England, Ireland, Wales, 4 nations in one country. That's why they are called Great Britain. So we can also have 6 nations in one country to be called Great Nigeria. Every region now govern yourself and develop at your own pace, just like it's happening in the United Kingdom and other places.
But was it on the table on that day?
It was on the table.
Okay.
It was. I submitted it. That is it.
Okay.
That is it. It says
this document.
Memorandum on devolution of power, residency and indigenship, regional autonomy, the perfect solution to Nigerian problems. They have it.
Okay.
The senators have it. In fact, after presentation, we submitted. Even some of the senators picked copies for themselves.
The submission happened on the second day or the first day?
On the second day.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't there on the second day because I didn't quite witness it. So the senators took this home.
Yes.
And it's something that is up for consideration.
Yes.
Regional autonomy.
Regional autonomy.
Why is it important?
It is important because that is the only way that Nigeria will grow fast, and if every region will now be happy and develop at their own pace and practice their own culture. Now, Nigeria is made of diverse ethnic groups with diverse opinions, diverse world views. Their cultures are different, but we can still live together, allow you to practice your own culture and your religion. If there are some people who don't believe in our type of custom or tradition, what is good in one culture or custom may be not acceptable, unacceptable in another.
Yeah.
For instance, in this part of the world, in the east and south, we take alcohol.
Yeah.
We go to hotel and we take alcohol, but we don't do it in the north. They have Sharia government in the north. If you do it, you'll be arrested for selling alcohol. But so why don't we now allow them to practice, to live on their own and practice their rule and their custom and their culture and their religion within Nigeria? We also practice our own and drink our alcohol if we want within Nigeria, so that even though we have diverse views, world views, opinions, we still live comfortably.
Okay.
Instead of killing ourselves because of things that are non-issues. So if that is done, there will be peace. And the National Assembly has the power to make that law under Section 4.1 of the present Constitution, that they have power to make the law that will bring peace, order, and good governance in all parts of the Federation. And this is the law they will make now, to say, now we devolve power. That's what we call devolution of power to the regions. Every region now govern yourself and be autonomous inside Nigeria.
Do you trust this constitution amendment process could actually see this to fruition? Because there's a lot of talk. We know the continued Biafra agitation in the southeast. People say we want to succeed. We want Biafra to become a nation of its own. You're saying that invariably through a constitution amendment this can happen while still maintaining the benefits and gains of being part of a larger nation called Nigeria.
Now, we are not the first to do it in the world. Okay. Up to today, Scottish people believe they are British by citizenship, but they are Scottish by indigenous identity. So we are in court with Nigerian government over this issue. Okay. We said, yeah, we are in court.
Mobbing?
Yes, we are in court with Nigeria. FHC OW CS 102 2012. That's 2012. That was the first one. Now it is in Enugu now in the Court of Appeal. FHC CS EN 103 2019, which is now in Court of Appeal as CA Court of Appeal Enugu 96 2020, which is in the Court of Appeal. What we are saying is this: it is possible for Nigeria to be one country, but you maintain your indigenous identity. We have argued it in court that we are Biafrans by indigenous identity, but we are Nigerians by citizenship, just like in the UK. Scottish people, they are agitating for their Scottish independence, but they are still British. But they maintain their Scottish indigenous identity. Just like in Nigeria, you can have your Arewa, Oduduwa, or Biafrans, or whatever indigenous identity you want, but you still maintain your Nigerian nationality. That is how it is practiced. That's why Britain is called Great Britain. You go there. I'm British I'm of dual nationality. Okay. I'm both Nigerian and British.
Okay.
I live in the two countries. So if it can work for Britain, why can't it work here? So that you are on your own. Do you know that even I'm a solicitor of England and Wales, I can't even practice law in Scotland unless I go to Scotland and pass their own law school.
Okay.
Even though I'm still British, they're also British.
But you can't practice
I
in
can't
Scotland
practice in
unless
Scotland.
you get the certifications for
Scottish
practicing
law.
in Scotland.
Scottish law, because
Okay.
Scotland has its own parliament and they make their own law. I can't even practice law in Scotland, but we're all British. So why can't we do the same thing in Nigeria? As it was before, we had regional government. We had Eastern Nigerian Constitution. If you remember, we also have Western Nigerian Constitution. We practice this regional autonomy before the military struck.
Yeah.
All we are saying, let's go back to where we were.
Go back to what it was in the First Republic.
Yes, regional. Yes, that's what we are saying. The only difference now is that in the First Republic we had 4 regions because Midwest was added. But now we have 6 regions.
Okay.
All we are saying, the same concept. Apply it to the 6 regions. Or even if you want to create more regions, but then let it be regional so that people of the same mindsets, people of the same world view, people of the same culture can be together and develop at their own pace. Nigeria will be stable. That is how Britain is Great Britain, because they are stable. So if you can work in Britain, why can't you work in Nigeria?
The constitution that they had in the First Republic, some people said it was stronger than what we have now, gave that autonomy, that devolution of power, more than what we have in the 1999 constitution. And some people say, let's go back to it. Is it, too much of a tall order to be saying, let's go back to that 1963 constitution?
63,
yes. 1963
Yeah.
constitution, and all the ideas that came up from the Lancaster House Conference in London in 1957 and all.
Yeah.
So is it too much of a tall order to do that than to amend the 1999 constitution?
It's very simple. If we can go back to our old national anthem,
Yeah, we did.
We heard
Nigeria,
we heard it. That is actually the anthem that gave rise to that old constitution. That's 1963 constitution.
Okay.
Though tribes and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Is it not?
Yeah.
It is very simple. If we can go back to the old national anthem, why can't we go back to the old regional autonomy that gave birth to that national anthem?
Wow.
So let the legislators answer this question, because it is in their hand. I saw how the day when I was talking about regional autonomy, I saw how some of them reacted.
Body language wasn't too good.
Yes. Yes.
Why?
Well,
is it because of the Biafra in the name of the organization that you represent?
No, it's not because of the name of Biafra. Because I have argued it in court over this issue of Biafra. Because that day, the Attorney General of the Federation raised that issue. Say, after all, where is Biafra? There's no more Biafra. Then I now corrected him, and he now knew that he was wrong. I said, first of all, after the war, what ceased to exist was the Republic of Biafra. The Republic of Biafra, a country called Republic of Biafra, ceased to exist. So there's no more Biafra. But what about the human beings, the individuals, the people who were not consumed, who were not killed, the remnants? So the remnants are the Biafrans living in Nigeria, because they were now accepted and granted citizenship as Nigerians. So the individuals were not annihilated. Then I told the Attorney General that the mistake you made then was you did not annihilate the Biafrans. If you had annihilated us the way Rome annihilated Carthage, if you remember the history, Punic Wars, Rome annihilated Carthage, and there's no more Carthaginian in the world today. There's no more Carthage. No person answering a Carthaginian again in the world, because Rome annihilated Carthage. If Nigeria had annihilated the Biafrans, all of us, kill all of us, by now they would have forgotten us. But they didn't kill all of us. Though we are remnants, the little children, we grew up. So when we grew up, we said, oh, we had a country. But even though our country, we have lost it, but we are still human beings. And the right to self-determination is still applicable to us. Thank God that the United Nations passed that law, the Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People. That is the people that are remnants of the land, who were not consumed in the war and who were not assimilated by other tribes. They are still the indigenous people of the land. So they maintain their indigenous identity. Even though they have no country, the only country we have now is Nigeria. So we are still Nigerians. But our indigenous identity should not be taken away from us. Just like Oduduwa cannot be taken away from them. Arewa cannot be taken away from them. Or any other indigenous people, their identity should not be taken away from them. We are all Nigerians. So what is wrong? Even if you say I'm a Biafran, yes, you're a Biafran by indigenous identity, but you're Nigerian by citizenship.
So you shouldn't elicit a lot of what would I call it, suspicion for somebody to say that they are Biafran. After all, we have an Ariwa consultative forum and all. So it should lead to conversation.
Exactly. But the problem is misunderstanding and how people have used this word Biafra. It connotes, in the minds of many people, it connotes confrontation, it connotes war, it connotes so many things. That is not right. We can live together. After all, Scottish people are living together with the Anglo-Saxons, the Welsh, and the Irish people, all of them in the same United Kingdom. And every place is peaceful. Very peaceful. In fact, UK is, will I say, the strongest economy. Very strong and very fine, beautiful. Sorry, I'm not advertising UK. Even if I do, I'm also British.
It's fine.
All right. Now, Barrister, let me ask you this question. With this memorandum on devolution of power, residency, and in indigenship for regional autonomy, you do know that after all these things, that the National Assembly will still get the 2/3 majority from the state houses of assembly. What is your group doing to see that this regional autonomy which you're championing for is being included and it's sees the light of the day?
It's all about meeting with the people. Meeting with the authorities, the legislators, both at national level and the region at the state level, and talk with them. It's all about advertising it, talking to them, making them understand the benefit of this arrangement. If they understand it and accept it, they will pass it. We are not in the parliament. They are the people who will pass the law. So, but I think that some of them are afraid of one thing or the other. But like I have explained now,
when you say they're afraid, what specific thing are you hinting at?
Well, you know that people are always afraid of the unknown. First is, if there's a regional autonomy now, power will shift from national, and the power will now concentrate at the regions.
Yeah.
There will be no more clamor again for who is president of Nigeria, as it is now.
Okay.
Because in the present constitution, once you become the president, you are now the executive president, and you can do anything and nothing can happen. There's kind of impunity, and every person is struggling to get that position. And I have seen, like I said before, if you are of one cultural persuasion, maybe if you are, let me say, Islam and Muslim and Christian, Christian and Muslim, we cannot shy away from it. There's that tendency of favoritism towards people of your own religion or people of your own culture. There's that tendency, so that somebody can do something, and because he belongs to a favorable or a favored tribe, people, they will not do anything against him because he's from a favored tribe. But another person will do the same thing, but because he's from a wrong tribe, then the hammer will fall on him.
Do we have favored and wrong tribes as it stands?
Well, I am using it figuratively.
Okay.
There are figuratively, in the sense that we have seen it in Nigeria. Somebody will do something because his tribe maybe is in power. They will forgive him, and another person will do the same thing. His tribe is not in power. They will persecute him or punish him. If you want me to give an example, I will.
Yeah, go ahead.
I should.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ahead. Yes.
The clamor for this ethnic agitations started in 1990s, around 93, by the Niger Delta group called Niger Delta Volunteer Force, led by Alhaji Asari Dokubo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then the OPC people in the West, led by Gani Adams, they started. They were violent. Well, I'm talking about historical facts.
Yeah.
They were violent, fighting with the federal government, killing. Okay. Then, in 1999, Wazirike started. After how many years? These people started about 7 years before him. Wazirike started in 1999 and started agitation for Biafra. Okay. Federal government was not comfortable. Even though the other people started agitating with violence, Wazirike said his own is non-violence, non-exodus. I mean, mass up. Non-violence, non-exodus. But other people say, no, they will use violence. And they killed so many. There was war between those people and the federal troops. But Wazirike was the person they targeted. Eventually, they now arrested the 3 of them. But Wazirike was their main target. President Obasanjo released the OPC people. Good. And handed over to President Yaradua. Yaradua came in and released Asari Dokubo, and they left Wazirike in prison. Nobody released him. Why? Yes, why? He said his own is non-violence, non-exodus, that they were still in Nigeria. But that is the person they kept. Why? Every person kept quiet. Obasanjo released OPC people because they are from the West. Odua People's Congress, Odua. He released them. President Yaradua released Asari Dokubo to have access to the oil dealings because they were disrupting the oil production.
And the amnesty scheme.
The amnesty scheme came up to forgive them. But when Wazirike now came up, they arrested him and there was no forgiveness. They kept him in prison. That was when I entered into the struggle. I was the spokesman of Igbo lawyers at that time. Igbo Lawyers Forum. I said, no, this is wrong. That is when we started this fight. I said, no, why are you now discriminating against us? This man, this Wazirike, he said non-violence, non-exodus. And that is the person that you're targeted. Whereas those people that killed federal troops, you forget them, give them amnesty. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is historical fact.
Yeah.
So if you belong to the wrong tribe, the hammer will fall on you. If you belong to the right tribe, even if you commit anything, you'll be forgiven.
Okay, and that's why I'm a bit skeptical about what this constitution review would achieve. You already talked about the body language, and we had a regional, mostly senators from this part of the country who were there to listen to stakeholders talk about what they want amended in the constitution. And you raised this issue of regional autonomy, and you said that the body language didn't quite, we might misread body language, right, until it gets to the point where they've made their submissions, a report on what they believe should be amended in the constitution, and push it down to the state assemblies to give their votes. But do you really think that this issue of regional autonomy would be considered in this particular constitution review process?
Whether I think or I do not think.
Yeah.
Well, the most important thing is that we have made it known to them, and the power is in their hand to implement it. Our own is to talk. If they don't do it, the problem continues. Agitation will continue. Those in the north said they want to be free to practice Sharia law. They don't hide it. They say they want to be free to practice Sharia law. And if you don't give them that freedom, they will continue killing. They will continue it.
Killing.
Is there no evidence of killings by, they say, is it for Islamic fundamentalists? Well, how do they describe them? They describe them as Islamic fundamentalists or something, Sharia fundamentalists. That's the way they describe them. Killing. They say it is herdsmen, Fulani herdsmen. The killings will continue.
Those agitations.
Or the agitation. They will continue. Give them their space. And they will now know they have a place. For instance, Northwest, where they entered in 1804, belongs to them. That's a region for them. It belongs to them. They can feel comfortable. So Nigeria is large enough for every region, every person to be accommodated.
And too large for just one constitution.
Exactly.
We need to have regional
constitution. So you manage yourself. As we did. Remember in the 1963 constitution, that helped us to speed up development. You know, by 1964, the Eastern region was rated the highest or the best or the most advanced economy in the world.
The developing economies in the world.
Yes. Because of that competition, there was that competition among the regions. West was known for cocoa. You remember the cocoa house?
Yeah.
North was for agriculture. Remember the granite pyramids?
Yeah.
And then the east was known for the oil, palm oil then. You know, so there was that free competition in the world, comparative advantage. Anywhere you think you know best, you do it best. And Nigeria was growing. Nigeria will still grow if they accept this thing we are talking about. All we are saying is that let's go back to our foundation where we started, regional autonomy. That's where we started, where we said, though tribes and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. That is it. If we can go back to that, it will be okay. Every person will be happy. But I said that the body language, now, when somebody thinks that the power from the center will be removed, then there will be competition in the region. Regional politics will begin. And those that were senators in the national, they may find it difficult to sell through in the region because we know who is who in the regions. We know who is who. Abam and Aba, we know who we are. So if you are winning elections at the federal level, when we come to regional, we will know who you are. We know you. We know your father. We know your mother. We know your village. We know who is who. So at that level, okay, we will now select the best. We now vote the best for ourselves. You cannot impose somebody on us because at that level, we know who is who. So maybe some people, the fear of the unknown is a problem.
Isn't that easy to say? Because at the regional level now, we know who is who, and yet we vote in leaders in, our state assemblies, governorship positions, and even, those who represent us in the National Assembly that people might consider poor choices of the people.
I like that. That's your question.
Yeah.
We know who is who, and yet we have the people we have now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so these people we have now ruling over us, did we vote for them? That's the question. Did we vote for most of the people you said that we voted for? Did we really vote for them?
There was an election, and
so we
even
have
if the
cast
process
our
was thwarted,
the process was thwarted. Even if the process was thwarted, good. But we have made our votes. The process was thwarted. They say the problem now is the thwarting of that process.
Would it be eliminated when there's this regional autonomy?
Yes, it will be. That's what we're saying. I used an adage in Igbo land, we will do it ourselves and we know who is who, and we will make sure that the person we brought up, we voted for, is the person that will rule us. We know we will do it when the power is in our hand to do it. But now the power is not in our hand. Do you know that people fear the government or the authority? They fear the people. You know that? They fear the people. Because if the chief judge of our region, the chief judge of maybe the regional government, if the chief judge eats bribe and makes it, the youths will go to his house and say, "Oh, God, come out! We put there's a gong, wooden gong we beat and summon him to our village square." Summon him to our village square. Say, this is what happened. Look at what. Then we know how to correct these problems. So all these things, even security, we have even our own security. We have Ndinche even before the British government came. We were able to secure our territory. Ndinche, we call it Ndinche, which in the north they call Hisba police.
Okay.
Under Sharia government, they call it Hisba police. But under customary law, we have Ndinche, who they protect our regions. The youths, we train them, they protect our regions. So we know who is who. In fact, in your village now, I know you know everybody in that village. If you are at home, you will know every person and every person. So this thing they say they don't know who is who. They don't know the criminal. It's a lie, because we know every person. We know what every person does in the village.
So regionalism would solve a lot of problems, you say?
All right, there's something I just saw in the book, and I want to clarify on that, if that's the notion for the Mobina. It says the problem of Nigeria is not only political, but religious intolerance and incompatibility of the ethnic nationalities that make up the country. Is that the stance of your group?
That's exactly what we're talking about. It's not just political, but there is that incompatibility and religious problem. One religion wants to force its own religion upon every other person, and it cannot work.
But wouldn't that exist in this regional autonomy you're clamoring for?
The same problem of religious intolerance?
Yes.
No.
Why?
No, because, okay, it may happen.
Because you know that every region is also made up with this religion and ethnic equalities.
Agreed with you.
Okay.
It may happen in other regions, but in my own region, we believe in the Igbo philosophy of Ebebere Ugobere. Ebebere Ugobere, let the kite perch, let the hawk perch. But because there are millions of trees in the world, you can find a place to perch. You don't perch and say another person should not perch. We believe in that. Live and let live. Let Ebebere, let Ugobere.
Mana nke na-ekwere ebe nku ya kwụchapụ.
Okay.
Ya kwachapụ.
Okay. Nke na-ekweghị ibe ebe nku ya kwachapụ, right? It's good. Now some people have amended it to say nke na-ekweghị ibe ebe, let him show him a place to perch.
Okay.
Ugobere nke si ibe ebe ya egosi ebe ọ ga-ebere.
Okay.
That's what people have amended that philosophy. Good. So if you say I should not perch, then show me where to perch. So I don't know what will happen in another region. If they say if you don't follow Islam, you will die.
So is there a way to have this regional autonomy and increase the independence of these regions for them to grow, as a homogeneous people and bringing together their ideas and articulating it, even though it might be at sharp contrast to the other regions? Is there a way to have this happen and still have a country? Is it really possible to have these regions with their differences and still have a unified front as one country, really, knowing how we have a plural society in Nigeria, a lot of ethnic groups and nationalities?
Okay, that's good. Now, there is something called negotiation. So what will happen is the regions, their constitution will not take all powers. And they will not, yes, they're independent or autonomous, but not outrightly autonomous. You are still accountable to the center. We may now, on the negotiation table, we cannot agree on a common currency,
Okay.
common army, and some other thing, common immigration, and some other areas we can agree that this is common to us. So that one now keeps us together as one country. The British Army, for instance, they remain one army, British Army. The immigration, they remain one British immigration. So we can copy from others who have done it better. I have not gone to, in Britain, they don't have army for England, army for Wales,
Wales,
army for Ireland, army for Scotland. No, it is British Army. The same thing with immigration. So we can have areas we agree, and that makes us one country, and allowing us to rule ourselves at the regional level. It's very easy.
All right, Barrister Emeka Siri, thank you so much. Let's go for our news break. When we return, we'll continue this conversation. Parliamentarians, do stay tuned.